I committed to this, and today I don't feel like doing a video, but well, if I don't do it now, I won't. I want to ask you something, and I've been reflecting on this a little bit. What is the cost for you of the perfect hire, the perfect new teammate or team member? What is that worth to you? I'm going to take you back to my life before purpose, before my purpose moment. Specifically, I'm going to go just before the Saturday morning. That week had been particularly hard. I felt exhausted. I was sitting there and reflecting on the week that had been, or rather, I didn't want to reflect on the week that had been. Team problems, looking to replace team members feeling tapped out because there were people in my team, in my organization, in my company, who were not the right fit. And I didn't really realize that at the time. The type of person, when I came in, they were like, I'm an energetic person. I'm a motivated person. I come in charged up, and then by the end of the day, I was feeling tapped out because there was energy leeches in my studio. It was in actual physical studio in Sydney at the time. So feeling tapped out, but also there were clients that we were working for that, big clients that were problems because they weren't aligned with the values that I wanted, that I was feeling that I was moving towards. But they were a necessity because of the money that they brought in. So I was feeling depleted, I was feeling unfulfilled, and it had been a number of years that this was a situation. So I felt like I was stuck on a hamster wheel, and it was not what I wanted. I was building a brand that I wanted to be a legacy. Like, we were working on building the Sponge to be a legacy brand, and I wanted that. I wanted that outcome. I wanted something that I can pass on to my kids if they wanted to pursue that. Something that makes good revenue, that is a legacy, creating a legacy. As an entrepreneur, that's what I wanted. So I guess that came to a critical point when, in fact, I just fired a client because of something that they said that was just literally offensive. I'm not going to use the language that they used, but I could not work for them anymore. So, and that was the significant revenue that had been cut off as a result of that. So, fired a client, so lost revenue stream. Some of the team, not all of them, had some legends with us. Some of them tapping out my energy, so feeling depleted, and business decisions that were difficult because they were not feeling right, and stuck on this hamster wheel. I wasn't feeling like I was building this epic brand, this legacy brand that I wanted. So, enter the Saturday morning. I'm sitting on my couch by the bay, my villa, beautiful summer's day, breeze coming off the water, and I'm just ready to decompress, and I hit play on this documentary. It was called The True Cost, and it was what I needed to see, but what I didn't want. 90 minutes, I saw supply chain like I'd never seen before. I was completely ignorant to. I know it's fast fashion. It shows the deaths in the Dakar building collapse, the devastation to ecosystems, the disruption to nations, fashion industry. Like, phenomenal, mind-blowing. Because of what? Because of the race to the bottom for cost, for profit, for shareholder return, short-term shareholder return. So me, sitting there, tears streaming, deciding on that everything had come together for me into this critical moment to say, you can't do this anymore. So that's why I decided that we as an organization were no longer going to work for brands that were about profit at all costs. That was my purpose moment. So there was a lot that led up to that. So I decided to fire clients. I decided that the business would be completely different. And I did that not knowing a model to move to. Just couldn't. That was it for me. So I stepped into this abyss of what does it look like to be a purpose-led organization, to be values-driven, to be about positive impact. How do we build our culture to be that way? How do we talk about our impact? How do we even get clear on that? So for me, it was unknown. What was the model? What was the model? How do we do it? And for years, it was stumbling and trial and error. Lots of trial and error. Different certifications, different this and that, different models, building and failing until we've got it right. And we've got it right now. And I am more on purpose now than I was back then. I know what we're about. We're about helping brands be good for the world, but all brands be good for the world. And my team are fully aligned. So coming back to that question, that implosion forced the getting rid of some people. Like we couldn't sustain the team that we had then. And that was a sad time, very hard, one of the most challenging times for me as a business owner. Coming full circle, we have legends in our team. We have a bulletproof recruitment process to ensure alignment. We have everyone sharing in our team, sharing our purpose, sharing our values, sharing our vision for the world, and bringing their creative and discretionary energy to work. The difference is the amount of people I had back then in the team versus the amount of people that I have now is less now, but the output is so much higher. One of the stats I always talk about is the difference between a disengaged team member and an engaged team member on a low-level role is 300% more productive for the engaged team member. For a mid-level role, it's 1200%, 12 times more productive for the engaged team member versus a disengaged team member. The work we do when we do it with clients is always results in people that shouldn't have been in that organization self-selecting out because they are not aligned and they feel it and they know they're not right for it. They leave voluntarily. It's about being polarizing. And part of that framework that I was talking about, we've worked it out, is to build a polarizing culture. So create a culture that hits all these notes, that everyone is involved in the articulation, everyone's involved in the ritualization of it, so everyone shares it and holds the rest of the team accountable for being that way. Or you find yourself not feeling welcome there anymore. Not in that way, but it's like you need to be so polarizing that like the magnet does, it repulses the things that are not the right pole for it, but attracts and pulls towards it the people that are, or the things that aren't. So that framework, and I feel energized talking about this. Now I'm glad I started. Where am I talking about? So coming back to that question, what is the cost? What value do you put on the perfect hire, on the perfect new teammate? There's a framework to ensure that you get that, and it's building a good for the world brand, and that's what we do. And I'd love to help you if you're feeling aligned with the me that was back then, or feeling that you don't need to dive into the deep end and work out and struggle to find the models or find the framework. We've got it. We've worked it out, and it's something that we help our clients with. So it's really designed for that person that's feeling like they need to dive in, but they want the fast track. They want certainty of how this works. And it works. It works for all kinds of industries. We're not in a specific niche. You don't have to be a marketing agency, a branding agency for it to use. All kinds of professional services or product companies we've helped them implement this process so that they can become a good for the world brand. If you want to know more, look, honestly, reach out to me. I love talking about this stuff. Clearly you can see that. There are plenty of opportunities and lots of free resources too. So this is not a pitch. It's just me sharing, and I hope you found value in it. If you are like me in that moment and are considering changing things because you're not happy with the status quo, reach out. we've actually got a community that we've been rallying to encourage and inspire you, so you don't have to commit to it just yet. It's called Good North. It's a different thing altogether, but it is a good business community. That's it. Enough for me. Have an awesome weekend, and see you at the next video. If you haven't, smash the awesome button now. There should be an awesome button. If not, hit the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so we can keep this conversation going. Until then, you be unapologetically awesome.